Hello everyone, and this is the second part of our V-Ray material lesson, and we'll be imitating realistic materials here. So, we'll start off with transparent and translucent materials. So, let's start working with the materials here. Let's start off with ordinary glass, and we'll be filling in our material slots. Okay, let's make it white. Reflect. Turn the maximum to reflect. Here, maximum here. IOR 1.54. Okay. Affect shadows. This seems to be about it. Okay, this is the material of our glass. It's very standard, can be easily used. I personally find it's a bit too reflective. So real glass doesn't really have quite as much. So we'll just have it rendering here. Okay, that's just a bit more. So you can see the reflection of the thing casting the illumination. So it's a simple glass. Just a few more. Okay, glass white. Won't do the backside here because we don't use any other maps right now. Glossy glass was done on the previous lesson, so we won't be doing it this time. Okay, you just have to make it glossier a bit. So in order to get a glossy effect. Let's try to get some kind of greenish color to it. The kind of you use for different kinds of shelves. So let's change our reflections. Okay, it's 25 here. And it's independent of the Fresnel. Okay, let's make this a bit nicer to the eye. Let's leave this the same way here. Okay, choose this, select it. Let's choose green here. Okay, and to give it a material, it has a very strong effect. We don't really want it to be that deliberate. So let's set the fog multiplier to 0.5. So you don't want it to be green here. Okay, the back parts. I'll just cut. As you see, these parts just kind of cut through the glass. We have the effect of green glass on them too. Okay, and this seems not to be quite as much as I wanted. Let's add a bit more. This seems to be alright. Let's just wait a bit here. 39. And see how the reflections work. Okay, let's just get highlight glossy here. Okay, and just see how it looks like. And you can just use this kind of glass for different, say, kitchen utensils, vases. It might look a bit different in the interior, but if you set the correct parameters, you'll get something nice for the interior design too. So here's the difference. So here on the left, they're a bit more defined, the reflections. I personally find this one on the left to be nicer because sometimes we lack reflections. Okay, let's get a bit more change some glossiness and just render. We'll get a better effect on the glass. As you see, the speed of the render the render speed wasn't really um, dependent on how much fractals we had, so it always stayed on 129, non-dependent on our settings. Okay, so we got this done. So it's a bit more glossy. The blick, that is. So you can notice the glossiness on the blick. So I am testing, but I'm not giving it any material. So I don't see any results. So here's this other kind of... Okay, this is a bit better. Okay. And we'll be doing a whole bunch of different materials today. We'll also be talking about some materials that I won't be giving examples of, and you'll have a whole bunch of homework, which will have you know what is responsible for what responsibilities. So our blick isn't very defined now. So we just have to look at the object. So let's have this a bit glossy. Okay, let's leave it this way. The next material. I'll just look at the render time right now. Okay. Glossy. It is a bit glossy. And just one more second. More. Okay, fine. So 223 for this render. It's almost took as almost twice as long. And I don't see much of a difference between the materials. So you can do highlight glossy in the material. We'll be trying this now. So now let's get to the next material. So water has a different IOR. So it's 336. And it has a kind of a shake to it. So let's get to noise. See how noise spreads out. Let's do darker refract. And see how the noise is spread out. So explicit map channel here. Click this. So, okay, let's remove the edges. I just clicked F4. 0.5. 0.1. 0.07. Seems alright. Okay. We get this matching Fresnel value. But I'll just get the effect is the same, but we'll just change the value that is. Okay, let's get what we are doing. Get our render. So let's just grab a part of it. So I don't want to be rendering anything. If it's good, we'll render the rest of it. I don't see a big difference. So let's play around a bit more. So fractals, that will be probably overkilling it. So let's just bump it up to 5. Okay, a bit less actually. 0.04 here. So we're getting some noise, and let's get this, okay, let's get this shake a bit less. I find it to be overly reflective. Let's make it a bit less. Okay, twice as less. Okay, we're getting this correct kind of shake effect. Okay, now you have here 12 here. Okay, by shake I mean ripple, that is. Okay, let's just set the settings. It's a bit more glossy. Just we are using glossy to change the form of the blick. Let's render the lower part of it. We'll just see if it's correct or not. So you might have to change the refraction. And choose fog color. And we'll just make that color a bit bluish. Okay, let's just change our material a bit. So it doesn't still really look like water yet. So let's try doing a different noise. Okay, change it to water. Here. And change this over here. Just a bit less transparency. Fog color added. So it's getting the tone that we want it to have. So in interiors where you only want the light bands, we usually make the material the same as glass with a different reflect and refract parameters are changed. IOR is also changed. So right now we want a more kind of sea ripple effect, like a river. Okay. Seems like we're having a bit too much noise. Okay, noise. Okay, 1, 2, 008. Okay, let's make the low a bit high, a bit different to make it a bit contrastive. Okay, 0, 1, 1, 5, minus 9, 0.9, 1. Let's make it a bit more contrastive. Okay. And we'll have now we can render the whole sphere. Okay. So in this way, we'll get the necessary noise cut, and we'll also get the um, so okay, we don't probably need much more transparency. We'll just okay, make it a bit bluer. Oh, okay, so I'll just have this rendered finally. Okay, and then we'll get to the other type of water. And then we'll get to other types of materials. So we'll get this kind of ripple. Okay, let's see how long it takes to run. And let's check out the water. And let's now test the plastic. It's quite different from the glass. So now it's going to finally render. Okay. And we'll get to the next tasks. Okay, a bit more. 4 buckets. Okay, just a bit more. Three, two, one. Now. So now we've got those watery kind of material. Okay. On non-spherical shapes, on non-extruded shapes, it will probably look a little bit better. We kind of get these waves when you spread out on the surface. Okay, now how we can make water some other effects. Okay, refract. Out. Okay, let's make it gray. Let's make it, okay, this. Okay, water materials. We can make it a bit darker. Make it a bit darker. Okay, this is how you get the water effect. It doesn't have any transparency. And when you get the right noise, you can get nice effects. Sometimes you'll need this while making exterior. Say you have an outdoor scene with a big river. It's going to be a very big project, very hard to make. Okay, let's get to the white plastic. Okay, and try to get to a plastic. So say we have this kind of plastic here. So it has some reflections, some blicks. So it has this highlight glossy. Nothing super complex on the curves. So you have this bottle here. A bit of a watery blick. And no cuts. Let's go to 3D Max. Okay, so it's blicks. 09. Zero zero one here. We can look at our plastic from this kind of view. So as you see, the light kind of dims. The transparency dims. So you can get this kind of effect too. So we'll have some transparency work done. And you have the reflexes. So it's how it is affected by our angle of view. So say a person's snapping it from there, you just get the Fresnel 220. Or you can just get the Fresnel IOR changed. So okay, let's make it a bit bigger. Just get a more deliberate blick. Okay, white. Refract. Okay, let's get this black. Okay, it's gets bigger towards the edge. Okay. Let's change it this way. 0 0. 004. Okay, bump. Okay. So let's add a bit of noise. Okay, didn't add that. Clear? Noise? 0, 001 automatically. What's the main channel? Okay. Okay, let's see what. Okay, let's see our plastic. Okay, just. Okay, just color here. Let's make the color of our bottle darker. Okay, now that's a bit better. Okay, hello. Let's just adjust this over here. Let's change the. Okay, we have the refract line. Okay, let's add a dot. Bezier smooth. Okay, here. Okay, so we can make it a bit darker. To my eye, it got a bit lighter. Okay. So it's not enough. Okay. There we got the white, the blue kind of tone to it. Okay. Let's so now we've got this edited and try rendering a part. So let's try. Okay, looking at the color, it's the color is defined by Fresnel IOR. So we're getting this effect here. This kind of border. We don't really want this to be that strong, this effect, because we'll get too much of a light bend when we add it to our object. Okay, 001 here. Okay, we want to have this effect, but we don't want it to kind of bulge into our eyes. Okay. I did make it a bit darker. Just a bit more dark. Okay, just along the border of the object. Okay, let's just spread it out a bit more. Go to diffuse. Make it even more darker. Okay, so we got this. Now the effect that we can see is more related to the end result we want to get. So this seems to be fairly normal plastic. I just want to add a bit less reflection. It may be a bit washed up. Okay, set this here. Okay, so we want the reflections to be a bit more defined. Now we got this set and we can have our render. And get our ball done. So when you get to testing a certain material, just first of all try analyzing what you are actually wanting to get as a result. So we've set the base material, and we're getting closer to the final variation that we want to have. Okay. So we get this, now we got these settings and we'll have a full effective plastic, because it's another thing about plastic that it's very easy to bend. So let's try rendering this material. Okay. So, but we'll have to. So there are some peculiarities you might wish to do when you're doing actually something with real plastic, but you'll have to look at them on a real object. And there's an IOR to get this kind of boundary here. You want them to be effective. So you just want a bit left. So here, right now, we'll get to a new material. Okay. So now we've got the plastic. So as you see the difference between the preview is black, and here it's a good see-through kind of plastic. So now let's do V-Ray MTL, and let's make a soap kind of a soap balloon, like this one. Soap ball, and it has a bunch of different tones that are kind of bent into each other, all of them different kind of color and shape. We have all the rainbow colors. We don't really have any green though. We'll try imitating this right now. Okay, let's get back to here, to our material editor. Make a soap bubble. And try finding stuff out. Okay, it's transparent. But it's strongly reflective, which does mix us up. And gradient ramp will be used on the reflect. Okay, let's make it yellow and orange. Okay, right here. Okay, kind of violet pink here. Okay. Let's do it white to, well, more blue. Okay, blue here. Okay. Okay, noise here. Okay. Okay, refract. Just put it this way, so we can how gradient ramp will work. Uh, let's get a bit of noise. Okay, and we'll need to enlarge its size. Okay, this will be okay closer to the real truth. Okay, here. Okay, I'd move it around a bit. Okay, refract over here to the maximum. Reflexes are on, and let's do Fresnel 15, 1520. Okay, here we got plenty of reflections going. Let's make him a bit smaller. 15, 10. Material. Okay, let's put it over here. We won't be touching the noise. Okay, just fall off here. Gradient here. Fresnel. I want the effect to be stronger, closer to the edges, and weaker towards the center. Let's turn this off here. Okay, let's make a bit more subdivs. Okay. Okay, let's make it a bit smaller. Okay, IOR 1.6. But it doesn't reflect anything like our plus. So we see the bubbly effect on the top. Just make this value a bit higher. Okay, let's add the sphere into our scene. We're gonna add this to its material region. So this way, we can achieve a bubble, and it does slightly defect the image, curves it. Okay, multiplayer a bit lower, 0.005. Okay, and we'll do the same for the refract as we did in our plastic. Okay, and we'll just get okay, let's add this kind of material here. Okay, green here. Okay, let's buy Fresnel here. All off Fresnel and change it. Make it gray here. Corner with the Bezier spline. So we want it to be less transparent, closer to the edge. Okay, so we want it to have a kind of a more strict form. So we got it's nice and defined. So let's get rid of this ball inside. Make it a bit lighter. Nice. Okay, turn off the refract here. And let's look at the noise there. Split channel. And let's look at the noise here. A bit less, 0.5, 0.3. Let's just try catching the necessary parameters. Seems to be a bit too much. 0.2 seems to be doing the job. Even 0.15. Okay, this seems to be alright. 1. Okay, white. 0. Okay, put 1 here. So let's try. So as you can see, this reflection here is a lot stronger. It's colorful there. And here we'll make a softer version. Okay, of a bubble. So I'm trying to demonstrate how to get these kind of effects without refract, but by other methods. Okay, this here. View. Render. I can make the picture. Okay, let's get some reflections going. Okay, this seems alright. Let's add some shadows. Okay, let's just wait a bit. Okay, noise. Mapping. Okay. So a bubble is usually quite see-through. Okay, Photoshop's here. Okay, so we have this kind of more of a tamed version. We can use it for different kinds of tasks we want to achieve later on. So I don't like it when a see-through object doesn't have any borders. So with refract we can kind of outline it, and it has nicer counters, nicer borders, which does make it look a lot better. And this here. Okay. So we have different shades. Okay, so we have green. Okay. Green, and so we have a whole bunch of different colors, as you see. So let's wait a while and do the rest of the material later on. Let's try making some glass with a kind of a drawing of a sand line drawing on it. So this is the kind of bubble we are getting. You can use some HDRI, make some more bubbles. add some extra features. But I did this this will do for a project. Okay, just got one backlight. Okay. Okay, let's do the rest of the material. I do recommend that you should be saving all of your results because I don't save mine. You'll be able to use them in your further projects. Okay. So let's take this ordinary material, mix it up with V-Ray blend. We could also so this is probably the best option there is. Okay, blending several materials. Let's make a new one. I usually copy, but I will do a fully new one here. So a glass that has been worked on with sand, slightly different. It's a bit less see-through. Okay, let's make it a bit more glossy. Let's make it light. Okay, 0.7 for the glossiness. Here's the reflection of it. $29.12. Let's add some see-throughness. So, and the sand glass is also kind of slightly rough, so we'll need some additional noise on it. So let's add some to the ball, some extra material. So let's make a map for it. Choose a map. Some kind of ornamented map. So let's take this picture here. So let's take a look at how it looks like. Okay, white is the lower material. Black is the upper material. Okay, just switch it around. It's not a big map. Let's take a bigger picture. Choose it along the size. Okay, this seems a bit too big. This one here. Okay. Let's try this one. Seems to be the most acceptable. Or this one. I don't see anything rather interesting. Okay, let's make the blur a bit smaller. Let's go to output, inverts. Okay. So this is what we're getting. The bad thing is that it's not a very high resolution map. And the texture itself isn't ideal. Okay. So let's look at how it looks like. Make this 3. 1.5. Okay. That's all right. Okay. Let's add some of okay, let's just add some see-throughness to the glass and render a part of it. Okay. So it's an ordinary glass, but not the kind of use wardrobe. Like the kind of use for glasses, wine glasses. It's not really a window type of glass either. So when you're doing an ordinary kind of ordinary glass, keep your reflect at about 30. Or just have this here. And 001 for ordinary glass on IOR. And you'll get everything nice. Okay, you got your picture rendering. You got the shadow, sand kind of effect, the sandy effect. Okay. Okay, you got this kind of shadow that distracts us. And you're getting this kind of sand effect on both mirrors and glasses is pretty much the same. So just change the sand, keep the same material. But here is going to be a bit more visible. Here you have pixels. You can make it a bit more reflective. Make it a bit wider. Okay, 0.85. Refract. Refract to the fullest. Fresnel. So Fresnel to 20. Okay, make a kind of sand window. Okay, let's kind of render so we can see what kind of effect we have. Okay, let's try to get another kind of map. Another ornament. I don't seem to have any interesting kind of map that will be easily fit. But this map seems to be pretty much alright. Okay. The other thing is the glass is kind of two-sided, and the shadow prevents us from seeing the picture correctly. So what I'll be telling you. Okay. So we're also going to be having some ice materials now. And they are quite heavy on the render. Okay, water. Okay, let's try to get some oil. Okay, so let's set the IOR here. Let's see what kind of color it has. Try making the same. Do you believe you know how to make this kind of glass? You probably won't have any trouble. So you probably won't have much trouble making this kind of composition yourself. So it's not very different from the water. So we'll have to catch the correct fog color. Okay, let's make the colorful refracts. Okay, make this. We see this normal kind of reflections. Okay, several kind of. Okay, so we've got this kind of, we can see this kind of stuff here. Let's make it slightly more yellow. And try picking the tone that will allow us to imitate the material. So now, getting this kind of material here. So you're getting this kind of a dark blue here. So you need to get rid of them. Reflect. Okay, let's make it a bit darker. Say so. Like say gold has a kind of a blue or kind of a yellowish reflection, and the same works for the butter, the oil. So when you want to have a bit of reflect of one color, you just go to V-Lake Gray Color, set it to black, and just set this parameters lower here. Okay. Okay, you got these reflections. They are quite deliberate. Okay. Let's set this one here. This isn't very strong. Let's make it a bit more yellow. So just as we've done in the other materials, just a bit more refract here. Just Fresnel. Okay, just a bit more black. Okay. So we're getting this type of material color here, like net oil. So it's translucency. And test the materials. Make it kind of not very deliberate see-through. Okay, some translucency. Okay, let's see how it looks like in a bottle. We have to see that. Fog multiplier. Okay, that's enough. Okay, let's try. We'll have to. So now we're gonna do one more material. Okay, so for the normal render, this material will be enough. Okay. So with the fog color, just some more editing. So now the type of material you want to make. It's the same type of material, same we used for glass. So we have a bit left here. So you can use the same stuff to make things like honey, just some adjustments color-wise. Okay. The honey should be done through spreading under the surface. And always keep in mind the reflections. So just just try spilling oil, kitchen oil, in real life, just to see how olive oil, just how it check out just how much it reflects in real life. Okay, just some realism in our material. Okay, that seems about it. Okay, let's go foil here. Olive. Some material. Okay, let's make it a bit glossy. Let's make soft water. Okay, that's some fuck color. Let's get the ball out from the inside. Okay, olive. Just to look at what we are getting. I don't see much of a difference. So where you get the light, the brighter the material is. Okay, so when we analyze the material we have here, as we see through this one here, we don't really see anything. Okay. Okay, so let's see how transparent the butter is. So I don't see much of a difference. Okay, this it seems to have the right thickness here. Okay, let's increase it here. Okay, just make it a bit less transparent. Okay, let's make it a butter color again. Diffuse, refract. So if we move the diffract in the way we did, we should also change the diffuse. So it's getting a more deliberate kind of color. Okay, yellow and green. Okay, it seems to be a much of a too high value. Let's put it to 3. Let's set the value to here. So let's set this here. So we can make some other changes, but this seems to be legit. It does look like butter, so if we were to fill a bottle with it, it would pretty much be all right. Okay, let's make something that has a kind of a drops on it. Though we could make it through geometry, but let's try doing it this way. So go here, V-Ray blend material, choose a second material, make a copy, so one that's covered by something, by say steam, is doesn't reflect quite as well and isn't that translucent. So let's set these parameters here. Let's make them less here. Okay, and do them here. And bump here. Bitmap here. Circular to make it a ball type. Okay, let's sketch this one here. Drop. Drop. Okay, this should be the main material. Okay, water. So this should be made for water. Okay, let's make the glass and then we'll make the water. Okay, a map or bump. Okay, let's go here. Okay, refract 185. Explicit map channel. Size. 002. Refract 185. Okay, 185. Seems to be alright. Glass. Bitmap. Other. Texture. Find map. Okay, and the one with the drops. Textures. Let's find a map. Okay. Show the material. Options. So we see how they spread. Minus 90. Let's try how they're working. Okay. Let's try how this is working here. 185 over here. Okay, this one. Okay. Let's choose the white. So you can choose drag copy, or you just click on one of the materials, drag rotate, and just spin the object with drag rotate if you needed to. But you can't copy while doing drag rotate, and you can just copy it if you're copy with drag copy. So you can just enable your color map. Okay, and make it a lot brighter. Make our Okay, let's make it strongly white. Okay, make it quite okay. Okay. Okay, you're getting the kind of glass. And it seems it's has way too much kind of steam on it, so we need to make it a bit brighter. Make some reflections. Okay, we don't see really anything. Okay. Make it a bit wider. Okay. Let's make some drops. Okay, here and there. Glossiness. Let's change it. Okay, make it glossy. Okay, it doesn't look like it's kind of has steam on it, so we need the effect. Let's make it a bit less. And let's make it a 9. So let's see what it looks like now. So you need to catch the material of kind of a steamed glass. Okay, let's try to find it. Okay. So let's find a better texture. We aren't getting the effect we need. So let's try getting the drops. These ones look similar. Let's try looking how they look on our render. So I suggest kind of putting an accent on them using bump. Let's go V-Ray displacement mode and put the same picture here. Okay, dirt. It will take up a bit more time, but when we catch the material, we won't have much of a problem. Okay, let's wait a while. Okay. And the drops will be made with a material, a water material, liquid material. Okay, looks all right. Let's see how they are rendered. It does take a while. But if the drops will be clearly visible, we won't be doing the whole picture and you'll just do most of it during your homework. You'll just have to do a similar material. Okay. Just choose a material. Okay, just make it kind of fogged material, sweated material. So as you see, we are getting our drops, while it's not even fully rendered. Okay, we should choose a slightly different material. Just choose. We have the drops, but they are kind of off. Okay, let's choose 33 here. Slightly different. Okay. So as you see, there is quite a difference in the breaks, in the light breaks. And I'd suggest making it not a bit more a bit less deliberate. Okay, and we'll check that out how it's gonna work later on. Okay. We have a bit of render going on left, and that's gonna be all for this lesson. It's quite a long lesson since it takes a long to render. Okay. 2 minutes isn't much, but it still surely takes a bit of time. And we also spend a lot of time speaking about new functions. Just okay. So now that we're getting the results, it seem quite an interesting material, but it's not quite what we want. Okay, I really like this material. Okay, just find it very interesting. I hope you do enjoy using it. So I suggest uh, I'll just put in all of these materials into your homework folder that I'll give you. So you'll get a chance to use all of this stuff and make the renders just by yourself. I honestly have no idea how long this is gonna take to render this picture, but as you see here, it's not very short. Okay. A bit more. Very lively material. It's the last render on our lesson. From this, you'll be rendering yourself. After this, as you see, it may look like not a very big amount of settings, 7 settings, but you can get a huge amount of combinations. Okay. Okay, displays, and you'll just have to figure a reflection of this kind of type. Okay. So, but that's going to be in your homework, and displays will be then you'll have some time to play around with the displays. Okay. So this seems to be about all for this particular lesson. I am okay, and that's about all. Thank you.